Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 2 of Draw with Spangler. I am so glad that you guys are joining us tonight. I promise I will not keep us on here as far as me. We gonna get the man of the hour in here quickly. I just wanted to quickly say hello to everybody. But before I do, for those of you that did miss, Kara is okay. She is sick, and so she will be back. We've got, prayers that she's going to be back feeling good as new next week because, I hate my bestie being sick, but send up hearts, loving on my bestie Kira. She'll be back next week. Okay, so let me go through and try to say hello to what did I just do? I don't know what I just did. I just did something. Okay. Hello, John and Sarah, Diamonds and Dragonflies. Hello, Michelle, Linda, Deborah, Sherry. Hello, Marion, K9 Mama, Tammy, Wanda. Let's see. Sherry Jones, Aaron, Robin, Pennington. Hello, Dawn, Gina, Christine, God, my eyes are going crazy. Jen, Brenda, Diamond Paint with Kim, Grinchville, hello. Diamond Dust and Sparkles, Kaylee. Okay, so looks like we are at the end of it. I hope everybody got a chance to see, and I'm sure we'll have people coming in as we go. I just remembered I forgot to save my little progress here. So are you guys ready to get into week 2 and continue our drawing session with Randall? I know I am. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see how, because y'all know Halloween is my favorite holiday. And so you got haunted houses and draglins and gravestones, and I'm so excited. I love it. I can't stand it. So here we go. Let me bring Randall in. Hello, hello.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Week number 2, and I will be showing you my progress. I've done a little bit of drawing on it this week. I probably could have done more, but other things in life kind of get in the way. But I've got quite a bit more done. So, and I want to start off with my usual. This I was telling you about this week. This is the cover to my second coloring book. I don't have the actual book here, but I have a photo of it. It is now available on Amazon. And if you go to my website, randallspangler.com, there's a link right to where you can purchase the coloring book. And it's got 40 pages to color, all brand new from the first book. Lots of draglings throughout the whole book. And I'm reaching over here to my other books.
I want to say real quick, first off, hello, Sue. So glad you're here. Leopard Leather Works is in the house, and Randall, they, Carrie and Tim are absolutely sweethearts. They are donating, I think, at least one pin. They're donating a pin to the event. They make acrylic pins, and they fashion them themselves. They've even got one where they can put like it's a 3D dragon or a dragon inlaid inside the resin. And it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
That's
so I just
wonderful.
wanted to mention that they are awesome.
Yes, thank you for that. Speaking of that, I'll switch to this real quick here before I show you the other books as usual. Since my last event in November, some wonderful person, and I could not pull a name off the top of my head of what the person's name was, sent me these colored pencil extenders. I had talked about them, said someday I want one of these. So you take a little bit of a colored pencil and you just stick it in here and tighten it down. And you can use like every bit of a colored pencil. And these are wonderful. I think it was a packet of like five of these in different colors. And I just want to thank her for sending these. These are absolutely wonderful.
I'm so glad they sent that to you because that's awesome. because
Yes.
you try to use yours all the way down to the
Yeah.
smallest of
And I'm there, a little bitty piece trying to draw with. And then I believe it was the same person also sent a set of metallic Prismacolors, which is going to be fun to play with. I've not really used hardly any metallics. It's kind of I knew they're there. I think I would see a few of them. I don't have any, I don't believe, in my set. Um, so that's going to be a lot of fun to play with. And then on my website is my counting book with the draglings, a nice counting 1 through 12. And so that is available on my website.
Look at those
Great
little
for
precious babies. Oh, love them.
great for newborns. Be great baby gift for someone just to count a little bit of a storyline through it. Number 4, you can and count the teacups. There's 4 teacups, so they can, and every page is different. 9, they're counting the bees. So that is available on my website, and of course my ABC book. D is for draglings. Another one, great baby gift. Anyone having a child, a new baby, be a great baby shower gift. Got the draglings all the way through it, and lots of artwork in that book. And the original book, the Draglings Bedtime Story, full of lots of full pages of artwork.
Oh,
Yes,
I
yes.
just love them.
Again, this one is really good for newborns and for adults that haven't grown up yet, like me. So
Hey, I haven't grown up either. Like I said, I have a set. I got to get I got to get the other books, but now I've got to buy them again separately because now that it looks like I have grandkids, I don't want them with my books, so I need to get them their own.
you need an extra one they can slobber on
Yeah.
and drool and whatever. So anyway, okay. So tonight I guess I'm gonna turn the camera around here and show you where I'm at, and show you a couple things. I had one thing that I did incorrectly. I want to show you what I did and show you how I'm going to correct it. And let's see
Hey,
now.
Jessica, Risa, glad you guys could join us, and Margaret, Sherilyn. I think I got to everybody that I had missed.
Have to go. Lots of buttons to push here, and I got to make sure I do it correctly. I want the back camera. There you can
There
see
you go.
out the window, and there's the drawing table. Now I have to turn it around. I've got this thing plugged in also, so I'm going to have to slide over just a little bit more and twist this thing around so you can see. Replug it in up here to give a little more length. And okay, getting there. Okay, so I'd like to pull it back more so you can kind of see the whole piece here. I suppose what I should have done before I turned it around was just hold it up and show it to you. It might have shown up a little better. That's how I figure out everything in life. I do it incorrectly first, and then I figure it out. Okay, so you can kind of see. First thing I wanted to show you was last week I showed you my preliminary drawing on a different piece of paper for a haunted house. And I was going to make it a pretty elaborate house all the way over to the side here. And then the more I thought about it, I thought, it's just too wide. It needs to be more up and down and a thinner haunted house, kind of towering above. So I took this whole section here off of the house when I redrew it over here. And as you can see, I also decided I wanted the house on the left side of the paper rather than the right side. So I just drew it the other direction. And last week I had talked about perspective and all of that. When the house is up on the hill, you've got these lines on the house that you just kind of draw in some lines and just erase them later. That would show you the roof lines and all of that. And I had talked about how bottoms of windows. Oh, before I forget, I forgot to say hello to Leslie. She's the one that does all the magic of my running my website, making my prints, doing all of that. And Emily. Hello, Emily.
Leslie and Emily. Oh, and
Yes,
Sue
yes.
says her grandson enjoys coloring the draglings, and he also diamond paints a little bit.
Oh, that's
He
wonderful.
he submitted one of the pictures that
Oh,
he
good.
colored.
Oh, good. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. That's wonderful. Uh, so anyway, so I was talking about this perspective here, and I can see now looking at this, these are the lines going off in the distance in this way because you're looking up at the house, and this particular roof line here, I kind of draw in very lightly, kind of some light lines to see. I guess that's not too far off. I felt like that roof line there needed a little bit more angle to it, just to line up. But even little sections of roof that needs to be on that same angle as all these lines. It just makes it look right when you're finished with it. And even the chimney, it's you kind of see it from an angle here. Even the edges of the chimney need to line up with that perspective. And you may notice down here the lines because you're getting closer to your eye level, which is probably down here somewhere, that as you go up, the perspective gets at more of an angle. And I don't know if I know the right terms to call all of that, but that is what happens. So
Okay.
anyway, before I get into what I have messed up here, I want to show you what I'm doing down in the foreground here. So I generally just drew in shapes. I wanted a couple big old pumpkins down here, so I drew in a couple big ovals and made them the size I wanted. I'm going to have tree roots. They're going to be tucked into some tree roots here. When the whole piece is finished, it's going to have fall leaves and grasses and things coming up around them. And this is going to be a kind of a gnarled old tree coming up here. And you can see here where the draglings, they are kind of in scale to the pumpkins, similar size, And here's one of the draglings here, kind of curled around and looking up at the house. The other one's over here, a little in front of him and looking back. And he's looking a bit nervous too. I try to, the way I get the draglings, I'm kind of jumping around subject matters here, but I wanted to be a little bit nervous and a little concerned because he's about to go up to this big spooky old haunted house and he's actually kind of afraid to. So you kind of get a little bit of a nervous look to the eyes here. If you kind of, it's amazing if you ever draw eyes and play with them, the difference it can make, just the angle of the eyelid just gives such a different expression. And here he's looking kind of anxious, and the mouth is kind of wave it up and down a bit and take it down at the end. It makes him look a little more concerned. Because see if and I'll just play with it here. If you took it up like that and made it a little straighter, then all of a sudden he's looking pretty happy. But he's excited about candy, but he's very afraid to go up to this haunted house. So I want him to be a little bit nervous. So anyway, so I've got
Carrie,
him.
yeah, sorry, real quick.
Go ahead.
Carrie
Go
wanted
ahead.
to know. She said her 5-year-old grandson loves numbers and letters. Where's the best place to find your books? Your website, correct, would be probably
My
the best
website,
place.
randallspangler.com. That would be the place to find the books. Yes, there's a link to the 2 coloring books, which are on Amazon. My books are sold just through my website, the hardback books. Yes,
So you want to go there and get them.
yes, yes. They're all available there. Hmm. So anyway, and as you can see, I'm going to have a pathway coming up here, and this area coming down here, and I will probably end up doing some kind of a wrought iron fence around it when I'm done. And that would be one of the last things I put in, because I'll use a very dark color or black and just draw in the wrought iron fencing that'll go around the group cemetery. And you can see I kind of have lines all over the place here. I have a tendency when I'm not quite sure what to do, and even on the draglings, I do a lot of little lines just to try to figure out angles and shapes and position and size of what I want to do. It's like this dragling's head. Originally, I drew it a little bigger, and I said, no, it can't be bigger than this dragling's head. And especially since he's behind him, it technically should be maybe just a tiny bit smaller or pretty much the same size. So I just do these little lines and scribble and draw, and then I'll take an eraser, before I do too much painting or drawing on it, and just kind of erase some of those extra lines so they don't show up under the paint.
Oh,
But the colored pencils I put on cover a lot of that too, so I don't worry about it too much. And one of the things I was doing today was I was on my phone looking up photographs of old graveyards and tombstones, and just a ton of different designs and styles. And I just haven't quite figured out the graveyard yet. You can see I have started the idea of drawing in a tree here. I'm not sure if that's going to stay. I've thought about the idea of maybe putting a mausoleum up here would be interesting.
oh,
And then there will be tombstones all over, but the tombstones have to, and here they're probably too big because of the distance and depth of the house and the scale. If this is a front porch, then a person on the front porch is probably going to be, about that size. So therefore, a tombstone up here, this close to the house, probably needs to be more like that size than this size. But down here next to the draglings, the tombstones, I'm thinking of maybe a very large one right here at the edge is kind of what I'm thinking. But I haven't quite figured out the design of it yet. I sometimes just block in areas to get an idea. That's where I'm going to put something.
I think
And
that mausoleum idea sounds pretty cool looking. I don't know why those look so. I don't know. They just look interesting to me.
they do, and I'm going to have to look up photos of those. I didn't look those up yet to be inspired to do one that's kind of spooky looking. I don't want it to be too plain. It's got to look like maybe Dracula would be buried in there, maybe
Oh
with
yeah.
possibly the door ajar just a bit in case he wants to come out at night.
I love that.
So anyway, so back up here to the this gnarled old tree is coming up on the edge, and what that will do, because it's in the foreground, it's going to be very dark. And the house, of course, up on the hill will be lighter. I will probably have like foggy feel to the to the ground around the house. Like there'd be a slight fog on
Yeah.
a Halloween night around everything. And this last week I talked about putting a gazebo in here. Someone thought that would be a really great idea. So I've been playing around with designs of gazebos. But what I did, I generally like this position of it, but I didn't stick to my perspective very well when I was drawing this. I got this laying on the iPad here. I'm going to move the iPad over a little bit. Okay. But I don't know if you can tell at the angle I'm laying this when you're looking at the camera, but see, my roof line really should be curved. This is supposed to be a round gazebo. And so it should line up with the lines of the house also. So technically, I have the front of this gazebo pretty much straight across. Well, if it's a round roof, it's not going to be straight across. So I'm just going to kind of draw over this and show you. Technically, it should be a curve, like you're down below it here on the pathway, looking up at the gazebo. So you would kind of see, and this would be the back side of the inside of the gazebo there. So there you go. That's more of the correct perspective. And also even the ground level where you would come up the steps into it, and the railing on the gazebo, because you're still down below it looking up at it, they should be curved very similar to the roof line there.
Oh.
And that's what I had done wrong. And then, as you can see, now that I've kind of reworked the roof, the angle and design of the roof is just way off. So it just takes a lot of doing and drawing over and over and over,
Yeah,
especially if it's something I haven't drawn before.
you just try again.
Exactly, exactly. And don't get frustrated with whatever you're doing. It's just you just keep working at it and you learn. And if you don't like the picture when you're finished with it, then the next piece you probably learn something and go on to the next piece. And you just keep picking up things every time you draw another picture. So the more you draw or do, the more you learn. I keep going back to this kind of onion dome type thing, but it's gonna have some little almost weather vane type design on the top of it there. I like that design. So anyway, that looks a little more like you're at the same level looking at it as the house. See how the house is, you're kind of looking up at the house and you're looking up at the gazebo. So,
Okay.
and then here on the house, under the porch, you're kind of looking up at the porch too. You will probably see the roof, the inside ceiling of the porch. So I like to kind of get that in there too. So,
Oh, I never thought about that, but yeah, I guess you do. You see the little inside there.
yeah, all those little things just add to uh, the things that just make your eye look at it and go, oh, that's correct, or it looks real, or the the dimensions and everything are correct. So anyway, so now that gazebo looks much more in scale. If I hold it up, it's not too bad anyway. It's a lot of times when I'm drawing, I like to hold my piece up straight and look directly at it, because when I'm on a drawing table, I'm looking at it at such an angle. Sometimes it's a little difficult to get it just the way you need it. So I probably need to go and correct that circle around the gazebo just a bit more before I'm finished with the whole piece. So, and the pathway going up, I haven't quite decided. I think I want it like pavers, or like a stone pathway, probably going all the way up, and maybe even little tufts of grass coming out of it. It's not a very well traveled pathway because people don't want to go up to this house. So,
Well, Catherine also wanted to ask, you said, were you going to be able, or were you going to put in the black cat going up the house?
that you kind of broke up just a little bit there. Did you say about something about a black
Oh,
cat?
yeah. She's. I think last week we had talked about. You were thinking about maybe
Oh,
putting a
yes,
black
yes,
cat going up the
you're right.
walkway.
Yes, someone suggested that, and I thought that would be a great idea. It would be fun. And honestly, I had, as I was drawing the pathway, I had kind of forgotten about it. But I think it would be kind of neat if there was a cat right in front of them. And I'll have to again
Oh,
watch my cats, or look at drawings of cats, because I would want the cat kind of looking at it from the back. Um, well, I just indicate basically a shape here, just so the scale would be, and I've got the scale way too small, because a cat is going to be about the size of a dragling, but if it's in front of them far enough, it's going to be a little smaller. So
right.
the black cat could be more of, I'm just kind of doing a cylinder shape for the body here. And since the black cat is not one of the main characters in the picture, I want him big enough, but not, I don't want to overpower the draglings and become the main feature of the picture. So in general, and this will be generally the head, and then I'll have to figure out what the angles of the feet and stuff. And like I say, I'll have to sit there and just watch my cats walk around. But you can kind of see this. This is how I began. That looks like a pretty good scale there, I think, considering he's in front of the
Yeah.
dragling. I think that'll probably work. So I think, and that's probably a real good place for the cat too. I think he would just be looking ahead. You know how cats are. It's like when they decide this is where they're going to go, that's where they go. They're
Yeah,
pretty
almost like he's going,
determined.
y'all being little scaredy cats, and I'm a cat, but I'm not gonna be
Exactly.
scared of a cat.
Exactly. Not afraid of anything. No, no. So anyway, so there will be a black cat right there going up. I'm glad you reminded me of that. I had forgotten. And see that, and so what it does here also, besides drawing everything in, I really think about how your eye goes into the picture. And that's why I kind of have this rounded area here. The draglines, the pumpkins, and the cemetery, and then the pathway working your way up to the house, the tree coming in and kind of framing the house. And there will also be tree limbs coming in from here, old gnarled old tree limbs with a few fall leaves still left on them. And of course you've got to have the full moon. um, but all that kind of takes your eye around the whole picture, rather than like if you could take the pathway all the way over there and take it right out the side of the picture, but that's not going to happen. That takes your eye out there too.
Right.
So, and the other fun thing to draw on is the uh, faces on the pumpkins. If you Google carved pumpkins, there's just an incredible amount of faces and all kinds of things people do with them anymore. It's just amazing.
Oh, I know.
But I like them to be fairly traditional to kind of what I remember way, way back. Uh, and I want to match the feeling of the picture. Uh, some of my other pieces that have pumpkins in them, if you look at my website, you can see the Halloween section, see all the pumpkins. They're very traditional. They're fairly happy pumpkins, the faces and such. But this piece, I want it to be a little darker, a little spookier, a little grittier. So that's why on this face here, I'm just kind of made him a little darker and a little meaner and ferocious looking, sort of. And this one I start playing around with it a bit, but this one will also be kind of a scarier looking pumpkin. I want him to be, kind of set the mood for the picture, because it's going to be very, very dark with the dark trees and the dark night sky and the moon shining, and then the silhouettes of the trees, and the some of this tombstones here will be almost silhouetted against the ground behind them and such. So anyway,
I really like having, I mean, granted, I love your entire Halloween selection, the entire thing. I want them all. Um, but I love the idea of making that one, look a little bit more intimidating and scary looking. I
yes,
love that.
yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to attempt to do that. I know in past years I have tried drawing mean dragons, ferocious dragons, and they came out cute. So I'm not sure how dark and spooky I can make this, but I'm going to really push it. And something I had just thought about just at this very moment, looking at the draglings here, it's kind of like this one's hand is sticking out here, and I have moved things around. Like this one, I think I'm going to have a little staff in his hand also, kind of like this one's got a little staff over here with the little bat wings on it. He's going to be held by this
I
arm
love
is
that.
going to be holding that, and this one's going to have something with. I thought about putting a little skull on it. I'm not sure if I'll go that far with it, but I'll do something kind of Halloweenish on the top of his little stick. And then this hand, he's holding his bag so they can get some candy, hopefully. And I drew this arm just sticking out in front of him, and I really hadn't thought about it yet. But now that I'm looking at it, it's kind of like he needs to be holding a lantern. They
Oh,
they
yes.
should be. They need a lantern to go up this dark pathway. So that if by doing that, then as I work on it and make everything kind of dark around them, you'll have a nice glow here that will light up the faces and light up the draglings.
Oh, yes. Which, of course, if it ever gets into a diamond painting, means we have ABs and sparkly stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So that's and it these pieces, they just grow as I work on them. I don't have it all figured out at all. And that's kind of what makes them work, and that's why sometimes I like to spend months and months on a piece, just because you look at it and you think about it and you go, "Oh, wouldn't that be great to put a lantern there?" And I didn't have a lantern in it, or something like that, you know. Um,
Jay Lely asks, "Will the Draglings be in a ghost costume or witch or maybe even
well,
vampire?"
that's a really good question. Um, in some couple of my other older ones, I have put like a witch's hat on them or something. Um, and I thought about that earlier. They need to have something to make them, if they're Halloween, they need to dress up. But what can I do to a dragling? And on this one, I actually had started. I don't know if you can barely see the lines, to draw in something, maybe kind of like a wizard's hat or something. You could have a hat that kind of comes back there, and maybe a little moon, crescent moon on the front of it or something. I have no idea what to do with this one. Um, I'd love to hear ideas if anyone's got ideas. I kind of want something that I don't want to cover the drag lane. I just want
Right.
some little accessory that kind of indicates it's Halloween and he's got a little bit of a costume on, you know.
Um,
And especially showing the back of him, that's going to be a bit of a challenge.
Marcia says maybe the staff should be a witch's broom.
Ah,
Jay Lely says a vampire with cape and fangs.
uh-huh.
I had an idea of like, like Frankenstein, how you have just little bolts coming out the sides of the.
Oh, yes. Yeah, yeah, that'd be a
Oh,
possible.
we've got Wendy says butterfly wings, which could actually easily go on
Oh,
the back
yeah,
of
that's an idea. Little wings, and I would have like a little strap to show that they're strapped on, something like that. That's
mhm.
a good idea too. Yeah, yeah.
Robin says pirate hat. Gritchfield says clown collar and clown nose. That's unique.
They'd have to have two clown noses, the way their
I know,
noses are shaped.
one on each nostril.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Uh-huh. Yeah, the pirate hat's kind of a neat idea if I do just a hat. And I really like the idea of the witch's broom too. That that would be, because I wasn't sure what to do with this, but that would be kind of fun to do something that would be like an old straw broom, kind of like that type of a thing.
That would be kind
Oh,
of neat.
oh,
Tammy
yeah,
says a Zorro mask. Oh my goodness.
yeah. I
Hey,
thought
Jay
about a
Lely, he
mask.
has one that I keep waiting to come out with. He actually has one, a Halloween painting, where it is a dragling, and it's a vampire. He's got a little vampire cape. I forgot what the name of it is though. I don't know
Oh,
why.
yes, Dracula Dragon.
Dracula dragon, and it is just
Yeah,
a cute
small one.
thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, now if I've got a witch's broom, I'm gonna have to play with this. I might be better off over here instead of doing that hat. Maybe go ahead and make this more of a witch's hat over here.
Right. And then in
And
her hand, instead of the witch's broom, if you do the butterfly wings, then she could be holding a fairy wand.
yes, yes, that's an idea too. You know, I'm going to have to figure this out. I have to figure out
Yeah.
where all the position goes, because I like the idea of the fairy wings. Um, they might be better off on this dragon, because I thought if I put them here, they're going to kind of go up. They
Uh,
really shouldn't. They're going to cover up the lantern. They're going to cover up the arm holding the bag. So if they were on this dragling,
it would make
they could be.
oh,
They would. There's a space to put them. And that's real important to do that, and kind of keep the integrity of the shape of the dragon and not cover up important things like the lantern or his hand holding the bag. So that
very
might
smart.
be
Yes.
place to do. So these, as you can see, I just draw things and I redraw things and I erase things until I get it right.
Until you get
So
it how you like it. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And this is
exactly.
why you're the artist, because I didn't even think like, oh, where would the wings go?
Yeah, Well, that's why this is such fun, these live events, because instead of me just sitting here by myself thinking, what can I do? What can I do? And coming up with no ideas, there's all kinds of great ideas coming in. I really love it.
And
Yeah.
I can tell you, I think everybody here in the chat could probably already say it as well. We love being able to make suggestions, and then I was like, it's really cool if they, if they do get used, because we feel like we're right along here with you, sort of, and like creating with
We
you,
are.
even though you're the one
You are.
doing it, but we
Yeah.
feel like we have a small little hand in it. It just makes us feel included. So
Well, that's how it's getting figured out. Now, see, the other things I have to figure out as I'm drawing it out is like if I put a little witch's hat on this one, then the ears still have to come through the witch's hat.
yeah,
I don't really want the brim of it to go all the way up here and cover up his nose or anything, so I have to keep a very narrow little brim. I'm just kind of playing with what I might do here and bring it around just a little bit. It's going to be a there, and then there have to be an opening there for the little ears to poke through. So if I do that, and then if I erase the areas that would be under the hat, you can kind of see what it could be. The witch's hat could be point. I don't know. Should it be a straight? It probably should be more of a straight point, shouldn't it? It's going to be a witch's hat instead of a curving thing that's kind of sagging.
yeah. Sue says, "Put a dress on her witch, the fairy wings." I, I, I guess put a dress on the one with the fairy wings.
Oh,
I think that was what she's saying.
that's an idea. I was trying to think, just the wings, it kind of needs something else. One thing I was wondering about, since I'm taking the hat off of this one over here, um, what else could I put on her head? And I was kind of thinking maybe like a little ring of flowers or something, like a fairy might have. But I'm open for ideas there too.
Either that or tiara with jewels.
Yeah, yeah, that would work too. Yeah, yeah.
A
Okay.
tutu. Diamond Dust
A
is
tutu,
struggling with
yes.
the tutu.
Well, you know, they've got pretty big hips, the draglies do. So I'm not sure, and their anatomy is quite different. So I'm not quite sure where a tutu would
But like a little
begin and
dress
end.
would actually fit pretty good, because just the bottom hem of the dress could, where you could still, it would be over the tail, like you still see the tail up underneath there and everything.
Oh, yeah, yeah. If it kind of hung out a bit, that's a possibility. Yeah, yeah. I kind of like it. I kind of like maybe just putting something on the head though, like maybe a
Yeah,
tiara.
little tiara.
Right.
I think that would.
Or that and some flowers. It could have both jewels or maybe a little star. That'd be kind of fun. A little star
Oh, that
with
would
some
be.
jewels and then maybe some flowers or beads going around, something like that. So anyway, yeah,
Oh,
and
so
then
cute.
the little wings, I'll have the little wings kind of maybe strapped on around their arms. Maybe put a little strap around the arms that'll be kind of obvious and have a wing going. Yeah, one way. So it's kind of coming towards you. Again, you deal with perspective in drawing these wings. And so this first wing technically would probably be almost facing you. So it'd be almost a foreshortened wing. And I probably have to draw it many times to get it to look correct. Whereas the wing behind you, you might be looking more at the side of it. So it would be sticking way out here, is a possibility of how they could be looking. Generally there. And then you take out some of this other stuff underneath it here. Oops, just realized I forgot to close the door to my
Oh,
workroom, and my cat Elizabeth
oh,
will
she
be
gonna
up
come in
on
there
the.
and go, "What you doing, Daddy?"
She's going to get up here on the table in a moment. Except that she gets on the windowsill, and I have pulled the curtains before, and she's over here tapping at the curtains because she's on the windowsill. She's peeking through them now. she's She is so stubborn. There she comes. There's
Oh,
Elizabeth.
there's Elizabeth. She said, "What you doing? What you
She's gonna
doing
be
over here?"
she's gonna be real upset when I have to take her off the table here. But I'll show you Elizabeth. There she is.
Oh, hello, Elizabeth. How
She's
cute you are.
she's gonna be 13 in about 2 weeks,
Oh
and
my
had
goodness.
her since she was a tiny little, like about 3 week old baby, and bottle fed her. So she's my girl, and I'm her dad. And when I'm down here drawing on my drawing table, this is one of her favorite things is come down here and sit in the middle. But the problem is she sits right in the middle of the drawing. Is the thing.
Because that's the closest place to get you to pet her.
It is, and then I have to slide her over and get her, but I'm going to have to get her off of here because I can't move my paper, and she's going to be real upset. But that's
Oh no.
just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Here
Oh,
she's going. She's going. No,
so
no, Dad,
sorry,
can't,
Elizabeth.
you can't do that to me. Oh, I know. You're so upset.
Oh,
She says, Dad, please don't make me get down. Please. But you're gonna. I know she's real upset that I'm putting her down, but I'm gonna have to make her get down. I know. Okay.
she is so cute. Jen, is it right? She looks like your kitty Bella. Oh. And Wanda likes the witch hat. She says she likes how you did that, and everybody's loving the ears coming through the witch hat.
Well, they have to. Drag queens got pretty pointy ears, and they're not real flexible. So,
Yeah, it'd be all crunched up underneath there.
they would be. They would be. Yes, yes. Yeah, those are great ideas. And then the witch's broom makes so much more sense because the witch
Yeah.
is holding the broom, and Elizabeth is upset and she's leaving the room. Oh well.
Oh, Christine said my Figaro got all excited to see Elizabeth. LOL. I'm assuming
Oh, really?
Figaro is her cat. Oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
goodness, Leopard Leatherworks, you did not have to do that, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Um, so Leopard Leatherworks did a super chat and said thank you for hosting this great event. You are so sweet, Tim and Carrie. I swear, y'all are something else.
Okay. So, yes, this has helped a lot getting all this advice and ideas from people because now they look like they're trick or treating.
They
With the
do.
witch's
They got
hat,
their little costumes.
yes, this one rim of the hat I'll probably adjust up just a little bit, but those things I'll fix as I'm working on it and adding color to it.
And it kind of brings like this little, because their costumes, I imagine, are gonna, you're gonna have some color there, and so you kind of get that little color juxtaposition against the gloomy darkness.
Yes, yes, definitely. And this will be a little lantern here that will be lit up. I guess I'll put a little bottom on it there. It's just amazing the when you're drawing this small and want to make it very realistic. I just love getting in there and doing all these little tiny details of just this lantern's got to look just right. Little foot on it, that
I
little
think so.
top, a little handle on it that they could put his fingers underneath, and the thumb above it, and the fingers underneath the lantern, and it will have a glow to it. And I'll probably put some little edges on it here to give it a little more character. So anyway, yes,
Oh my
I'm
goodness, the
happy with it.
lantern could look. Marcia says the lantern could look like it has fireflies in it.
It
That would be
could. It
difficult.
could. Yeah, I that's a real good idea because I've done so many lanterns with fireflies. Yes, I maybe what I'm done drawing it in because it's so tiny here. It's not even. It's about the size of a finger. Um, but I will probably put little white dots on it, just to kind of make it indicate the idea that it could be fireflies in there.
Yes, that would be cute.
So yes,
Oh
that's a
my
good idea.
goodness.
Really good
Your
idea.
your cat Elizabeth, is it because Christine's hers are tuxedos. Is Elizabeth considered a tuxedo cat? Is that what they call them?
Well, I don't know. I would think kind of black and white with the kind of white on the chest. I'm not sure if they have to have specific markings or not. I would kind of think of her as that.
Oh, okay.
Uh, but I don't know. You know, a friend found her in their window well when she was a tiny little baby,
Oh my
and
goodness.
they could not find the mother anywhere, and they went to the neighbors' houses, and nobody would admit having a cat that had babies and was out, you know, just kind of out running loose. And so we figured the mother was moving the babies and either hadn't come back to get her, or had maybe she fell in the window well. We just don't know what happened. So she called. Well, actually, first she called um, the animal shelters, and they said with a little kitten that small, at least the shelter she called, she's got to be fed every 4 hours. No one will be here to feed him. She'll probably just die. And she called me, and I said,
Oh,
okay, I've got to have this kitty. And then I had to figure out how to bottle feed her and how to rub the tummies so they can go to the bathroom and all these little things that you have to do when they're that size. It was my first experience with that, but it was worth it. She's pretty wonderful.
I love that you
So,
have that whole history of rescuing cats because that's just so sweet. And I know
well, you
she
know,
loves you
since
for it.
I never had children, so she is my daughter. Basically, that was my only child raising experience. So at least I don't have to send her to college.
So
So,
there you go. Mia says she is a tuxedo cat. She has one
okay,
too.
okay.
He was a foster, and we got together with three siblings. Oh, wow. I know that there
They,
are people out there that do foster.
yes, yes. As you can see, I'm redrawing the back wings on the back side here. And what I want to make sure is that it looks like it's back there. This front wing, I might even bring in a little bit shorter. As I draw this more, I'll get a better feel for what this wing should look like compared to the back one. But the other one, the back one, originally I had up above it. And because of the angle I'm looking at the dragons, the wing was just too high. It would feel like you were looking at the wing from down below the dragon and looking up, whereas you're really not. And so I'm
Right.
trying to, it's kind of hard to explain, but that's kind of why I'm redrawing things here. But this is just the way I do it. I draw things over and over and over just to get it.
Well, I mean, I think that's
And
what makes it so, cool is because when you look at yours, I don't ever see, sometimes I've looked at different people's art and it's like, this feels a little off, like this angle still feels, but I don't ever get that when I'm looking at yours.
well, thank you. I hope not. I look at them so much and try to get all of those little things figured out, because I'm the same way when I see another drawing or something, uh, that the angles, aren't right. Like I mentioned last week, there's a mural at our local post office, and I don't know who painted it. It was way, many, many years ago. But on their houses, they have some perspective going on the front side of the house going this direction. The back side of the house, the perspective is going that direction, which just doesn't happen. It can't work that way, the way they did it, and
Yeah,
it just
it's like,
drives me
whoa, no,
crazy
you
when I
can go
see
in
it.
two different ways.
Yeah, or they'll have like a front window on the
Um,
house. The perspective of the house is going that away, and the window is going that away, and it's like, wait a minute.
yeah, and you're like, wait, because you almost have to tilt your head going, wait, that doesn't, huh? Wait, that don't
Right,
look right.
right. So it's
Melanie,
important to get
the
those.
type of paper you use
This
that
is
museum board,
It's
right?
called Museum Board. It's made by Crescent, the map board company. I think it's 100% rag paper. I think it can also be used for matting pieces with conservation matting with all acid free materials and such. But I love the color. I love the surface to work on. It takes watercolor nicely. The watercolor sinks in pretty quick, so it's hard to get a really smooth blend of watercolor. It's not like watercolor paper, but I always put colored pencil on top so I can smooth out the areas, and it takes colored pencil really well. But if you ever try it, um, pay attention to which side you actually draw on if you're drawing with colored pencil. You can't see it here, and you can barely feel it, but one side is slightly smoother than the other side. And the smoother side works much better to do colored pencil and very detailed work on. The other side just a little bit rougher. It just doesn't look quite the same.
I can see that because yeah, I've had where there's different. I guess they call it different weights of paper where
Yes.
they feel different. Is that what they call
Yeah.
weights?
The weight would be a lot would be about the thickness of the paper. This is about the thickness of a sheet
Okay.
of mat board. I don't know if you're familiar with what a mat board feels like. It's got some flex to it,
Yeah.
but it's not. It doesn't. You can hold it up with one hand, like I'm doing here, and it just kind of sags just a tiny bit. Um, Compared to if something very thin, just a sheet of paper, it's got a lot of flex to it. But I like this. I can hold this piece in my lap and draw on it as it is. It's a strong enough surface. I can sit there and do all my drawing and even colored pencil on it with some pressure, just holding it on my lap without a board behind it. So I really
Right.
enjoy working with paper. Yes, yes. So anyway, so I'm pretty excited about what I've accomplished here tonight. I think this area with the draglines has really, really come together nicely. Um, with
I think
the
so too. It's going to be so
costume.
exciting.
Yeah.
Someone wants to know. Carrie wants to know: will this piece be a diamond painting? Well, who knows? Maybe Dios once he gets it finished. It would be
I will
pretty
send it.
cool if Diamond
Yes.
Art Club said yes. Let's do this.
Well, I will send it to Diamond Art Club as soon as it's finished. I hope they do it. They make all the decisions of what they do, but I would sure think so. You know what makes a big difference to whether they want to do it or not would be, and when I get this finished, I'll be posting it on Facebook and such. Um, Contact Diamond Art Club and say, hey, we want to do that piece as a diamond painting. That makes a big difference on what they
Yeah.
want to do. It really does. I get all the time. I'm getting them contacting me saying, "We've had customers request this piece or this piece," and I send it to them. So it really does make a difference to contact them and ask for pieces. Yes.
Yeah. And so if you guys, once he's finished with this piece and y'all, you're like, oh my gosh, we love this, you got to say, look, once he gives it a name and everything, send them and he posts it, send them the post, be like, look at this. We would love this. We love this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that does
Oh,
help.
you're fine, Diane. Because I know this is one that would be super fun to work on because you have all the elements. You have draglings and costumes. You have pumpkins and fall feeling. You have the spooky house. You have the cemetery. I mean, it's like everything perfect that speaks Halloween
Mm-hmm.
in this camp in this
Mm-hmm.
painting.
And one of the I was just thinking about it again. If you look at my Halloween paintings on my website in my galleries, you will see one of them in particular has ghosts in it. Maybe I've done some ghosts in the haunted house piece also, I believe. So
Yes,
when I
in the
get the
trick or
whole
treat house,
painting done,
you did
okay,
ghosts
some ghosts.
because I just finished
Okay,
making one.
okay. There will be ghosts in this then. And I do that after all the color and everything's put on. I go in with a white colored pencil and just lightly sketch in where I want them to be. And then maybe I'll take some opaque white watercolor, kind of a gouache, and water it down a lot and just lightly put in the shade the ghosts on top of everything in the background so you can see through it. And the ghost, which makes sense, will be coming out of the cemetery here. I'll put a
Oh yeah.
ghost coming out of the cemetery. Oh yeah, this will, and then I will probably end up putting a witch over the moon. That's just so traditional, and I did do that in the haunted house. Yes.
And I love that because they made this haunted house. I'm telling you, one of the things I charged up the diamonds um, with my LED light or uh, my LED light, and they made the witch, and so much of the house is glow in the dark drills, and so when you
Oh,
turn
yeah.
off the light, it's all like right there, the bones of the house and the witch going across the moon. Oh my god. And the
Yes, I
trees, they made the
saw
trees glow
where
in the dark.
people, some people had posted that on Facebook, a photograph of it with the lights out, and you could just see the glowing areas. And they've done that with other pieces of mine, also the fireflies and such. And that's so cool.
Oh,
I
I
really
know.
like.
I love the glow in the dark because I know some people are like, well, when you go to bed and you leave a room, why do you need to look? Look, I still look. I like to sit there and just kind of look. And so if I've got something glow in the dark,
Hmm.
I'm gonna sit there and just stare at it. It's gonna be really cool
Hmm.
looking. Now we only got
Yeah.
4 minutes left, and we got to draw our winner
Oh, yes.
for week 1.
Okay.
So
So I'm going to
I
turn
will
my camera
say,
back.
guys, y'all have been, oh my goodness, amazing in participating. I had forgotten that I did not put down 2 entries, so I put those down. So we had a total between let me see, hold on, oh, nope, not that, Brandy. Yeah, I was trying to get, there we go. Um, getting your start picture and your progress. And remember, if you submitted what you're working on drawing wise, that counted also as, as another entry. And if you did a coloring page, we have, I know Pauline is doing diamond painting and I think a diamond painting drawing and a cross stitch. And she is really talented at drawing. Oh my goodness. And
Well,
the people that have been drawing, I love what they're doing. They're so cute. But we had a total of 170. So I figured with what we have to give away, because Diamond Art Club was so wonderful to donate 5 Diamond Art Club gift cards, $50 Diamond Art Club gift cards, that I figured we could give 1 gift card a week. And then, we'll still have 1 for the main giveaway that's also going to be paired with a diamond painting because we did have someone donate 3 diamond paintings. And then, of course, Carrie, and I will get out with Carrie and Tim to find out because, I mean, their pins. So this, just so you can kind of see, this is one of them. If you can see the dragon in there. And so you've got the dragon going there, and they'll do different colors. And
okay, Brandy, I think maybe we have lost you. I don't hear you. Your voice has kind of been coming out in and out just a bit. So I suppose I'm on my own here for the moment. And as soon as she gets back, hopefully right away, we will do the drawing. But I want to show you, if I can get my lighting here. It's so difficult to hold this up,
okay,
get good lighting on it to kind of see the whole image.
I'm sorry.
There she comes. I hear her.
There I am. Here I am. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Look at that. Oh, I love it. I'm sorry. I don't know why. It did not give me any trouble until
Well,
now.
your voice has
Oh,
been echoing a
oh,
bit as you talk. So let's get this
oh
drawing over with
no.
before we lose you again.
Yes. Yes. Let's go ahead. So choose a number from 1 to 170.
Okay. 98.
98. And 98, wow, I was just speaking of her, is Pauline Van Bezelgen. I don't know if Pauline's in the chat. She usually comes in. Pauline, are you here? Congratulations, Pauline. Pauline. Were you able to hear who won, or did it go Robody?
Oh, I heard it. Yes, Pauline
Oh,
Van.
okay.
I wasn't quite on the last name, Van Boozen, or I'm not quite sure
It's
what that. I don't
it's
have it written.
Bizuhin. It's yeah. I cannot pronounce her last
Okay. Okay.
last
Well,
name very well.
congratulations, Pauline. I don't even have it written out.
Congratulations.
Yes. Yes.
I
So
have put her down, and I will contact Diamond Art Club. And so, Pauline, you will need to get with me, message me, or email me your email address that you use for DAC. That way, I can get them your address, and they'll send you the gift card. So, oh my
congratulations,
gosh,
Pauline.
Randall, this has been so much fun.
It has been,
Um,
and I hope
I love what you've done.
my plan is by next week, whether I have it all drawn out or not, I'm going to start adding some color down here in the front. I'll have my pumpkin finished. The draglines, I could start adding color to them. I'm just anxious to get going on the coloring of it, so I will start that by next week. Yes.
See, I can imagine, because it's kind of like when we get a diamond painting and we just want to get started on it. I can imagine,
Yeah.
when you've got yours, want to get started on it too. I can see
Mm-hmm.
it. So thank you so much for doing this with us every week, and listening to our suggestions,
Well,
because
thanks to
it just
everyone for all the great ideas. That's helped me tremendously. I would have not figured out the costumes and such on the dragons. They wouldn't have been as good as they are, I'm sure, if it was just up to me to come up with the ideas. So I'm thrilled with what we did tonight.
I am too. So thank you guys so much for coming in and having fun with us. If you weren't able to catch us live and you are catching us on the replay, thank you for, just type in, hashtag replay to let us know that you came in, and you still kind of got a chance to spend some time with us. But we always look forward to Randall's creativity and his absolutely precious draglings. And so, thank you guys for coming. Really appreciate it. And I will make sure that as soon as I get off the live, I will put up week 2 progress post, so that you can start putting in sometime this week your week 2 progress pictures. And remember, it's going to close on Sunday at Sunday at 10 p.m. My brain just went Central Standard Time. So thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to leave you like I always do. Reach for the stars, grab hold on, and never let go. Until the next time, bye, y'all.
Bye.